Welcome to Bytesize Business. Business English in 5 minutes a day from Thinking English. Today we're talking about making decisions, and the keywords are decision, decisive, and decisively. I will now show you some brief definitions of these words, but we don't have time to look into them in great detail. Feel free to pause the video and read them yourself. Here we have decision, the noun, decisive, the adjective, and decisively, the adverb. But now let's move on and look at how we use these words in business English.
We all make hundreds of decisions every day, from what to wear to what and where to eat. And every decision we make has consequences. These are mostly very minor and unimportant consequences, many of which remain undiscovered and unconsidered. In business, though, decisions can be much more significant and much more dangerous, and therefore much more difficult to make. This is true because at work we are always held accountable for the consequences of our decisions. So let's talk about decision making. We use the phrase decision making to describe the process we use to arrive at a decision. Decision making is the function of management. That is what management is designed to do. That's management, not leadership. The function of leadership is to formulate strategy. Leadership should then leave it to management to make the decisions, which will deliver the strategy they have been given. A manager's job is to make decisions. In any business, problems always travel upwards, and a good manager will understand what level of decision he can make and what decisions he has to pass upwards to his boss. A bad or lazy manager will pass too many decisions upwards. A reckless or overambitious manager will make too many decisions which are above his pay grade. So, how do we make decisions? There are 3 rules. Rule 1. If you can, take your time. Making a decision is important, but making the right decision is much more important. If you can, spend time looking at different ideas and different possibilities. Think about consequences and try to look into the future to work out the possible effects of any decision you have to make. If you can't find a good decision, try to rule out all the bad decisions and see what options are left. If you have time, use time. Rule 2. Evaluate the decision. Easy decisions are associated with problems which you have seen before or which follow a familiar pattern. Difficult decisions usually come from a new direction and unexpected issues. Easy problems are easy. No problem. When a difficult problem arises, ask yourself these questions. Do I understand this problem and how to solve it? And are any additional consequences arising from my decision acceptable? If yes, go ahead. This is called acting decisively. If the answer is no, then ask yourself these questions. Do I have to make this decision, and should I make this decision? This is a question of knowing your job, and it depends on your level of self-confidence. You should ask, is there someone else who might be better able to make this decision? This is called delegation. And then you should ask, is this a decision which I should push up the decision chain? And that is dependent to a great extent on in-house politics which of course there are a lot of. The third rule in making a decision is to make a decision. There's a fine old English word which means to waste time trying to work out what to do or whether to do anything at all. The verb is to dither and the noun is a dither, someone who acts in this indecisive way. My advice to you is don't be a dither. Be decisive. If something is going wrong and there is no one else around you who can decide what to do, then you decide. Use your experience, your intelligence, and take any advice you can, but in the end, you make the decision and see it through. If it works out, say to the boss, someone had to make a decision, so I decided to, whatever it was you decided to do. Fortunately, it worked out okay. If it doesn't work out well, then say to the boss, someone had to make a decision, so I decided to do whatever it was. Unfortunately, it didn't work out as well as I hoped, but something had to be done, and that was the best I could come up with. I take full responsibility. That is the unwritten fourth rule. Always take responsibility for your decisions. Actually, your boss will probably make sure you do anyway, but you should always be prepared to take responsibility. To sum up then, if you have time to make a decision, use it. But not too much. Act decisively. Make sure you should make this particular decision, and if you are under pressure, use your experience and intelligence. Ask other people if you can, but act fast. Be decisive, and always take full responsibility for what you decide. Now, we have a little bit of homework for you, so you can use these words talking about your own decision making.